So now, what is the challenge? The challenge is to take one activity from each domain and practice it once a day. So you don't have to do all 5 activities in a day. Take one, gross motor, maybe do it on Monday. Maybe you want to do a STEM activity on Tuesday, and a different one for Wednesday might be literacy. And you can put them in any order you want. But the idea is to spend 5 minutes, 5 days a week, and practice one of these developmental areas. And before I show you some ideas to accumulate them and make a big activity, I just want to recap a couple things. Gross motor, as we had mentioned before, making sure that you take those gross motor activities that were presented and practice those positional words. Positional words: in, out, on, around, next to, between. All of those things we take for granted, and we think, oh, children understand them. But then they get to kindergarten and they really still don't understand those words. So I know it always surprised me as a kindergarten teacher that it's a language we take for granted, even with my own children. And it's something that we actually have to practice physically doing. As far as social studies, their legal name, their actual legal name. We get very caught up in calling our children by their nicknames, and that's, wonderful. It's terms of endearment, and they really relate to those. But they need to know their legal name as they move forward in preparation for school. This is important because they have to learn how to write it, that it's what's going to be on their roll call. And it makes it very difficult as they grow older to only go by their nicknames. So it's not bad to have a nickname, but they also need to know their legal name as well so they can answer to both. With literacy, one of our biggest things that we've always said, good listeners turn out to be good readers, because listeners have to be listening for those story details and able to tell you the stories back later. So it's another opportunity for them to be practicing listening skills and retelling to you what they heard or what they think they heard. With STEM, how, why, what if, really get them thinking out of the box and not solving the problem for them. Solving it with them, but not doing it for them. Really challenge them to change their thinking and try different things when something doesn't work out the way that they want. Making Jell-O and cake at home is great with science as well, because the powder then turns into a liquid and then it turns back into a solid. So there's a lot of conversation starters in there. And the last topic that we had discussed was social studies. Children who show emotional intelligence going into kindergarten do better and are more successful in school. They're able to do that problem solving, and they're not always waiting for an adult to solve the problem for them. So they're able to talk to their friends when there's a conflict, or know how to ask for help when they need help from an adult or someone else. So what are some fun ways at the end, like on a Saturday big activity, that you can put these all into one? Well, you could first create an obstacle course. Make something challenging any way that you want to do it, inside, outside, maybe both. And each stop along the obstacle course would involve one of these developmental domain activities. You could also create a card game. It could be in the form of memory. It could be in the form of Go Fish. It could be in the form of any of those card games that children love to play. And you make them yourselves, pieces of paper, index cards, whatever you'd like. If your child is more into board games, you can do the same kind of thing. This also gives you an opportunity to practice counting skills and the very, very, very important life skill of taking turns. Gonna help them out their whole life learning to wait their next turn. And last, you could go on a scavenger hunt. This is just a few ideas. There's 4 ideas here, but you can go on a scavenger hunt. Look for the letters. Find an activity that looks like it could be science related. Find the numbers on your house. You can do any sort of thing. Go to your next door neighbor. Who's your neighbor across the street? And walk with them so that they're getting that whole concept of the social studies, the gross motor. Skip to wherever. So any way that you want to do it, you can create an obstacle course, you can create card games, you can make board games, you can create scavenger hunts, anything you want to do. And that's just kind of the bonus at the end, to take everything they've done throughout the week and have one big fun activity that wraps it all up. So with that, we are hoping that you are ready, set, go, and you are ready to accept our challenge.